This podcast is brought to you by Marcus Rodriguez. If you're looking to buy or sell your home in this competitive market and you're not too sure where to start, look no further than Merced's preferred realtor, Marcus Rodriguez. He'll make sure the process goes as easy as possible, and you can reach him at 209-554-1715. Visit his website, www.myagentmarcus.com, or email him, info@myagentmarcus.com. This episode is brought to you by Thore. If you're in the Central Valley area and you're looking to get a tattoo, look no further than this dude right here. He's a versatile artist that specializes in black and gray realism. He's located in Merced at the Merced Tattoo and Piercing Company, and if you'd like to get in contact with him, either stop by the shop or reach out to him on Instagram. His Instagram is @_Thore with 5 E's. Once again, that's @_Thore with 5 E's. This episode is brought to you by Be Junk Free Merced. Everybody has stuff that's taking up space, but not everybody has the time, energy, and equipment to do something about it. That's where Scott Livesay comes in. If you have stuff that's overtaking your garage, yard, that spare room, or even a storage unit, give Be Junk Free Merced a call. You can reach them at 209-233-1519, and they'll give you an estimate and get back to you as soon as they can. This episode is brought to you by Patriarch One. Patriarch One LLC is a website, email, domain management, and design company. They can create your website from startup, refresh your current website, and even deal with domain transferring. Not only do they build a website for you, but they partner and manage the entire domain for you. They offer promotional gear as well, like business cards, shirts, pens, and anything with your logo on them. If you want to get in contact with them, you can reach them at 408-728-8001. Visit their Instagram, patriarch1.llc, or email them, info@patriarch1.com. This podcast is brought to you by Duffy.murphy. Whether you need studio time, mixing and mastering services, or someone to clean up that podcast audio, he's your guy. And trust me, because he's my guy. You can reach him on Instagram @DuffyMurphy or email him duffy.murphy@yahoo.com. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to Real Talk and Whatnot, a Central Valley podcast, Season 3 finale. We made it, people. Season 3. Can't even believe it. We're also going to have a summer season. I don't really know what to call that season or how it's going to work with me uploading, like if I'm going to put like season 3.5 or something like that. But there will be episodes coming out in the summer, at least 2 episodes per month. I don't want to take really a break because I don't want to lose any momentum that we have going on or anything like that. And it's just like people want to listen, so I want to give them something to listen to. So whether that's podcasts with my friends, other interesting people, we shall see. But season 3 finale is with Ashley Madison. She's, this great girl who has this amazing fitness journey, and we talk about that a lot. But before we get into her, let's remind everybody about reviews and downloads. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you're subscribing to my YouTube channel. Make sure you're giving a thumbs up to every video that you watch. Even if you don't watch it, just go ahead and throw it a thumbs up. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever else other podcast apps there are, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you give it a rating on Spotify. Make sure you give it a review on Apple Podcasts. Come on, people, give it a review. The last review was a year ago, so come on, let's leave some reviews on Apple Podcasts. Really appreciate it. It would help out the show, help out the algorithm, and get us going. I recently just got back from a camping trip up in NorCal, Del Norte State Park. It was like 8 hours away from here. It was a really, really long drive. But I was camping with my guy friends. It was really cool. It was 100% chance of rain on Saturday, and boy, did it rain for 24 full hours. All we did that day was hang around the campsite and then let the fire go out. So much rain, so wet, so muddy, but it was a blast, and I truly, truly enjoyed the time I had with my bros. Now, thank you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I appreciate any listeners I have. I don't know how many people are listening to these intro parts, but I just am very, very thankful to have the support that I do have, to have people tuning in to Central Valley Podcast, Real Talk and Whatnot, whatever we want to fucking call it. There's a lot of names. But I really, really do appreciate the support that I've gotten from the community. I know that I am from Merced, so naturally I have a lot of people from Merced, but my goal is to highlight people from Fresno, people from Bakersfield, people from Sacramento and everywhere else. So, bear with me as we slowly make our way out into the valley, into other areas as well. So I just really want to say thank you guys. I can't thank you enough. I can't believe the show has grown into what it is today, and I'm just, so thankful for it. Now let's talk about today's guest. Today I'm joined by Ashley Madison. Ashley is, a bit of a fitness sensation on Instagram. She lost, I believe it was like over 65, maybe 70 pounds. And she has, posted her journey the whole entire time. And through that has gained, a lot of followers and people who support her and people who, really like her. And, she's just a really cool person. She's born and raised in Merced. I don't know if she's born here, actually, but she's definitely raised in Merced. I had actually never really had a full conversation with her until this podcast, and it was a great time. We talked about, why, what happened. She had a bad breakup, and, what kind of motivated her to get in the gym, and it was that. And then, it just the journey from there, her trials and errors, what worked, what didn't work, the things she's doing, the becoming an ambassador for different brands, believing in stuff. And it was just a great conversation. I really got to get to know the person behind, the Instagram account. Because, sometimes people post and you're like, is this really who they are? And let me tell you, that is really who she is. Ashley is a great person, and she just wants to, inspire other people. That's her whole point. She just wants to inspire other people. So I was happy she came on here on the Central Valley podcast and shared her story with us. And so I'm going to stop talking and let's just get into season 3 finale with Ashley Madison. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Ashley Madison. This is it. Real talk. Whatnot.
Real talk. That's what it is. Real talk.
Okay, well, my name's Ashley Madison, and
What do you do?
I am a fitness influencer and a personal trainer.
Okay, and how did this all kind of come to be? How did you fall into this?
Honestly, I was extremely overweight, and I lost a bunch of weight. I lost about 68 pounds.
Dang.
Yeah, and so obviously my close
And
friends...
when was this?
This was in 2017.
2017. Okay.
Yes. And I remember following my first fitness influencer who had lost weight, and I was so inspired by her, and I was like, wait, I want to do this. I want to share my story, and I want to show other people that it's possible.
So from the beginning, did you kind of want when you first started, or when you first started thinking I want to lose some weight, was it you want to lose some weight to become an influencer?
No.
Or was it just I want to get healthy?
I want to get healthy. Well, I was actually engaged, and who doesn't want to look good for their wedding? So that's kind of what initially sparked my I need to lose weight.
Yeah.
There was also some health concerns. I was actually pre-diabetic. My doctor literally
really?
Yes, and I don't talk about that enough, but I remember I was at the Modesto Mall, and I literally could not finish 2 laps around it. I was fatigued.
Really?
Yeah, and I felt so sick, so I ended up going to
Were you depressed or anything?
Oh,
before
absolutely.
this?
Oh my God. I was so unhappy in life.
Okay,
you know
yeah,
what
and
I mean?
that's what I was trying to understand.
Yeah,
And-
so there was just a lot that came into play with wanting to lose weight. It wasn't just one thing, but...
And then what helped you stay consistent? Because, a lot of people knew you have New Year's resolutions and then, you
fall
might
off.
fall
Yeah.
out of them.
Yeah.
So what kept you driven during this time?
Honestly, my heartbreak.
So you had a
Yes.
heartbreak, and it
Yes.
really it gave you the bump you needed, I guess, huh?
Yes, and
Blessing in disguise.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
The person that my ex-fiance had an affair with was really thin. So I was oh my God, that lit a fire under me. And I was I'm going to show him that I can be skinny too. And oh my God, I was hitting that treadmill so fast.
And when you first started losing weight, what was your method of to shed some pounds and stuff like that?
I just did cardio and I portioned. I didn't really know much about calorie deficits or anything. I knew you needed to eat less, and in my head I thought you just had to do a crazy amount of cardio, which is incorrect. I did lose the weight that way, but I was running 5 miles a day. It was exhausting.
Really?
Yes.
Just full on cardio.
Yes, just cardio and then eating less.
And eating less. And you did that, and then when did you kind of want to start building muscle or bringing other techniques into your workout?
I have to credit my 2 best friends, Bianca and Roxy. They would always tell me Ash, you can have an amazing shape, do these workouts with us. And I'd be no, I don't want to look like a man. Oh my God, I was so mistaken. So I finally started working out with them, started seeing results, and then I fell in love. Weight training was everything for me.
And then so how long did it take you to lose the initial weight, and then from there toning it and everything?
11 months to lose 68 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. But I was so
Your before and after pictures are pretty crazy, pretty wild, and you look great. You look great,
thank
you. Of course. And so your journey started in 2017, and then when did you kind of start seeing? Did you start seeing when did you start seeing like this influencer thing like come about? You know what I mean?
So
it kind of they coincide together, but they're two separate things. Of I'm sure you realizing like, oh, I can actually profit, make money, and do things off of this.
Yeah. So my first ever post as an influencer, I had my mindset like I was going to do Instagram. There wasn't really a name. I didn't know if I was going to make money, but that was like my goal, my dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was December 4th, 2018 was my first post. And I made like this deal with one of my friend's boyfriends. His name is Manny, who did videography. And
I know who Manny is.
Yeah, Manny.
Yeah,
so he was like, if you post consistently for a month, I'll do a free video for you.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
that's
So
cool.
I ended up doing
Give you incentive and
yeah.
everything.
So I ended up posting every day for a month and everything. And I think it was like my third transformation picture. It just went viral. And I got, hit the Explore page. I got like 3,000 likes.
This is back when Instagram was a little more friendly. I feel like now it's like,
my
I don't
God.
get it.
It
It's
is,
like
the algorithm
you can
is
have
just-
100,000 followers and post something and like 200 people will like it. Or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and then other people who have like nobody following them get stuff blows up.
Yeah.
I just want to understand it. If I could understand
I Google it, I research.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, post at this time. Don't do this.
I know.
None of it works.
And then I stopped.
None
Yeah,
of it.
exactly. Then I stopped doing it. And then you put like no effort into something and you're like, okay, this thing does well. But like the thing that you're putting hours into and everything, like that doesn't do well. I feel and it's not like it's like, hey, I just want people to see my podcast. That's my whole thing. Like, hey,
Exactly.
But have you seen any of my podcast promos or anything?
Honestly, no. So let me say this: I do Instagram, but I don't spend a lot of time.
You don't consume Instagram.
No,
Yeah,
I'm busy, so it's
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like I freaking am on Instagram a lot, but it's more like posting and doing stuff or engaging versus like
yes,
trying to consume.
yeah.
as
So I'm
much.
not like scrolling a lot. I'm more of
Yeah.
like checking my DMs,
Okay.
like trying to do stuff like that. So
Well, our promo is going to be ridiculous. Just telling you, but I'll show you the
Okay.
other one so you can get it.
Okay.
But that's funny. That's funny. So then when did you start? I think I cut you off, but when did you start seeing like this influencer thing happen?
I would say about
You said you made your first post. You had that whole
December.
month, and then when it went viral, what happened?
nothing. I just started getting a lot of followers,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of girls would DM me, and that's I think the one thing that I did right. And I tell everyone who's trying to grow an Instagram, engage with your followers. If they DM you, respond. And obviously, it's a little harder now. I still try to do my best, but
Yeah.
when I was growing, anytime anyone wrote me, I would have genuine conversations. I would give them the best advice I could. And I think like developing those genuine connections with my followers is what really helped me continue to grow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and still to this day, I do so much for my followers. I don't speak about it, but
But I mean,
Yeah.
you do. I mean, in the sense that like you're talking to them, you know what I mean? Every day, like you came in here and instantly you're like, "Hey guys, I'm doing this podcast."
yeah.
You'll see it in a month, but
Yeah, whenever it's posted, it'll,
yeah.
I still have a YouTube that I promised them like 3 days ago that will not upload.
No, it's actually so. I
Yeah.
was researching you and I came across you. I mean, you have 5.11 thousand followers. That's pretty good. I mean, subscribers. That's good
Yeah.
on YouTube's. Each of their own different beasts. Like Instagram, its own little beast. You know, YouTube's its own, and then with podcasting, it's like.
Yeah, and I actually just started doing TikTok again. So that one's-
Okay.
that
Yeah,
one's
and
fun.
see, I feel like I'm so like, I mean, I tried TikTok. All I do is I post my same promos to TikTok as I do Instagram.
Yeah.
But I just like, I don't know. I don't consume TikTok at all. Like, I'll go post and then like, I don't like.
That's the one thing I love TikTok. Half
Yeah.
of my language is TikTok language
But
now.
every time I get on TikTok, I just like end up in these like weird people's pages where I'm like so far into them and I'm like, what am I doing right now?
Yes, I'm like watching recipes from like Japan that I will never
Yeah.
even eat, but I'm so interested. I'm like,
You're
wow,
like, I've
that's-
never even heard of this
yeah.
ingredient.
I'm like, I know how to make fish heads now. I'll never make it, but I know how. So
Yeah,
that's
dude.
TikTok.
Dude, I went over to my wife's family's house and like they were having menudo, and then and I like pozole a lot. I thought I like menudo. Menudo's like okay to me, but then her grandma had cooked like pig feet, and I was like, oh, like maybe maybe I could have some pig feet, like whatever. And then like I opened it up and I started looking at it, and then I started getting like in my head about it, and then I'm like, I can't even eat this menudo right now. Like,
No, I don't like either. I'm so picky. So
what are you picky, huh? So how does that translate to eating healthy?
I
Is that
feel
kind of
like
easier?
it's easier because I just eat the same 5 meals. Everyone's like, show me what you eat in a day. And I'm like, dude, I eat the same thing every single day. It's not
like,
interesting.
Well, like rice, chicken, and
Yeah, well, now that I'm on prep right now, it's literally the same 3 meats, same 2-3 carbs, and that's it. But like my everyday life, it's like when I'm not on prep, it's just like normal breakfast burritos. I'll do like low carb tortillas, eggs, shredded hash browns, and a salsa, and then protein pastas, taco bowls, super simple stuff.
just simple.
Yeah.
And then what about snacks? I mean, if you're gonna...
Yeah, so I'm not like a sweet tooth person. I love fruit. Pineapple's my favorite. And I am a hot Cheeto girl for life.
Oh, dude, hot Cheetos are so good. I love hot
So,
Cheetos so much. I don't like the extra hot ones, though.
Oh, hell no.
No.
No, I can't do that.
You will not like those the other way.
No, my stomach will be
Yeah,
turning
exactly. But yeah, I love those ones, and then lime. I love both of those.
Yeah.
They're so good.
So sometimes I'll have like those little bags to kind of like, you know, satisfy. But if not, I'll do popcorn and tapatio, and I feel like that kind of...
Oh, popcorn and tapatio kind of hits the spot a little bit.
Exactly.
That's good.
So, but I'm not a huge snacker.
Uh-huh.
So that helps a lot too.
That does. And so you started gaining these followers, and then when did you kind of have the realization, or you had the realization that, I'm sure you were inspired by, who was the person you were inspired by?
Brianna K Fitness.
Okay, Brianna K. And have you reached out to her and everything
yeah, we would always like DM and stuff. She is really successful. I think she has her own clothing line now and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was like the person, like weight loss wise.
Yeah, weight loss wise.
Sparked like, wow, I want to share my story too.
That's cool. And then it's probably even cooler that when you actually get to have a conversation with her, you know what I mean? And like
and she was
do similar things and then inspire other girls, right? Yeah. And so is it like, what kind of keeps you wanting to do this?
I feel like at first it was just sharing my weight loss story, but it's
transformed.
Exactly. And now I just want to show everyone whatever life you dream of, it's possible. And honestly, I used to...
A little more into it. You're good.
I used to, like talk crap so much about Merced, but I'm so proud of where I came from. And I want to show everyone from small towns, you can literally create the life of your dreams. I'm
so glad you said that and came and didn't just shit on us.
No. I have so much love for Merced now.
Yeah.
But when you are here and you're kind of growing up, it's
and that's what, dude. All the time, people hear me on the podcast say, like, when you're growing up, everyone talks about how, like, they just talk shit about the area, Merced, or whatever it is. But like, it took me until like I was like over the age of 25 to kind of look back and realize, like, oh, you know what? Like, it's actually like, it's like a good place to be raised. Like, I had Josh Regina on the other day, and he was talking about how like things that Valley kids do, and it's like, if you're a Valley kid, you remember always piling up and going to these swimming holes and piling up and doing these things that like a lot of other people from other areas don't connect with, in the sense that like they're not like going on a journey kind of. But I really like what you said. Like, it's kind of, I feel like as you grow old, you appreciate different things that maybe when you're younger you didn't appreciate.
For sure, being raised here in Merced has shaped who I am. And the one thing that I'm thankful for, that I feel like, now that I'm in Orange County, I meet a lot of like city people. The
city
friendships
folks
that I have are so genuine because, again, we're from this place where we know a lot of our friends from kindergarten, 5th grade, middle school.
Everybody knows you from your best to your worst to whatever. Everybody knows everybody's different stages, and it's a small town, small community. And that's why I like going downtown and seeing somebody random. And I'm sure you've run into so many random people
all the time,
since you've been home, you know what I mean? And it's like, I've only been home a couple days, and like, if you go to Rayleigh's, it's over.
Oh my God, Target.
Rayleigh's and Target, you're going to run into multiple people, every single time.
Exactly. So again, I used to hate that I was from Merced, but now I love it because again, who I am and the friendships that I have and the way that I appreciate things is because being raised here.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree with that so much. And it's cool hearing that, because I think, like, especially from someone like you, who people maybe like, they look at you and they're like, oh, she moved out of here or something like that. But like, you're still so thankful where you came from.
And my appreciation for Merced is so much stronger. Like, when I come visit, I love being here. You know what I get?
Isn't it crazy, everything that's happening too?
Oh my God, I just did a video on my Instagram story, like, on G Street, that new plaza.
Oh yeah, the whole
built.
thing right next door.
Amazing.
Yeah, right there, and then all downtown with El Cap and all the other new buildings.
I was actually just talking to one of my friends from Orange County, and they have birthday dinners out there at like steakhouses and these crazy places. And I'm like, dude, I had like 90% of my birthday dinners at Applebee's. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Applebee's is the place, dude.
Yes.
I was just watching Survivor with my wife, and they're like, and there's nothing better than a meal from Applebee's. And I was like, oh,
and
man,
the appetizers.
Yeah, exactly. They are freaking cheap prices. I don't know. I don't know if it's because there's Applebee's everywhere, right? But it seems like it's a Merced thing for some reason.
Yeah, it's like the highlight
of small town things. It's like Applebee's is the place to go.
Yes. So just funny things like that. You know?
Exactly. And then when you first started, so what was your goal when you first started? Just lose weight, you know what I mean? And then from there, what kind of goals did you set for yourself to kind of like keep you motivated and keep you going to like do whatever it is that you were going to do.
Yeah. So I remember my first goal ever, like the moment I stepped into the gym, they have you fill out this little questionnaire. I went to InShape and I wrote down my goal and it was to lose 50 pounds. And I thought that was impossible. Like writing that down, I was like, this is never going to happen. So that was like my first goal. And then when I hit that, that's when Roxy and Bianca got me into weight training. And then I started seeing results. And then it was kind of to just shape my body. And now that I feel like I'm very comfortable with weight training, my next goal is to do a bikini competition. Which
So is that what you're prepping for?
Yes.
And so what is a bikini competition? Explain to me as a guy who might just think that looks like a woman in bikinis.
No, so it's actually the woman's version of bodybuilding.
Okay, gotcha.
So just the way guys, prep for like classic men's physique.
Is this like when they kind of get a little orange and?
Oh, I'm gonna be extremely orange.
What is up with that?
I didn't know, but I guess it makes your muscles pop on stage. The darker you are, I guess, the more you look defined. But I guess you have to get like 4 coats of.
Is this spray tan?
Yeah. So.
Because I had Tanner Dodson on, and he was kind of explaining it too. But I'm always just like, what's up with the orangeness? Like,
I didn't
why
know
can't
either.
people like look?
Yeah, or even I am so excited to step on stage, but I don't know if
Is this your first one?
This is gonna be my first one.
Oh, really? Is it your first competition?
Ever.
Ever?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And so what kind of made you want to do this? Was this kind of the next step of like?
Yeah, so I learned that I thrive when I challenge myself. I get really depressed when I'm comfortable. Like I feel like I'm not doing enough. And the way I look at life, I don't want to ever look back when I'm 60 years old and be like, I didn't do enough or I didn't challenge myself enough. So I am so proud that I've lost the weight and I've kept it off, but I don't want that to be the highlight of my life.
Yeah.
I want to be like,
that.
I challenged myself every few years. So, once I accomplish this, who knows what my next goal will be.
But you
for
kind of
now,
throw yourself in different situations. My whole thing, too, what I always tell people they should do is throw themselves into uncomfortable situations.
Absolutely.
Because it's fight or flight, sink or swim. It's those type of situations. But, like, ever since I've done that, because I started videography and photography, like, 3 years ago now. But if I, and I got to the point where I was like, I graduated college. Like, I guess I'm going to be a teacher, but I don't really want to. But I'll do this because I feel like I should.
Yeah.
So then I was a high school substitute teacher for a while. And then there was just like this dream job, it was a competition called Dream Job where a brand was giving away like $100,000, describe your dream job. And so like me and Jimmy
I remember that video. That video was insane.
Yeah. So that's when me and Jimmy
it.
linked up. And that's basically when I started my photography and videography career. I'd always liked it before that, but was pushed away for various reasons. And then so we did that. And like I was so glad I did it when I did because I was like 26. So like now I'm 29 years old. And like I can look back and now finally like this year it finally seems like it paid off. For the past like 2.5 years it seemed like I'm trying this thing but I don't know what I'm doing and like but like the past like 3 or 4 months I've been so busy like I've had to say no to people which I hadn't had to do before, you know what I mean? It was just like cool that like there's like light at the end of the tunnel, you know what I mean? And what I was doing is like within my first 6 months I was shooting a wedding. Within my first, you know what I mean? I was putting myself in situations where I'm like, listen, am I qualified for this? I don't know, but I'm going to do it and I'm going to roll with it and I'm going to do the best I can. And through those situations, I grow and I grow and I grow. And it's similar to what you do too, is because like, you're like, okay, lose 50 pounds. Now what's my next goal? And now what's my next goal? And now you're doing the competition, what's the prep like? So have you never been as strict, you know, on something before? Because before you can kind of be a little looser.
Yeah, you can go out on the weekends, you can drink. So this is actually my 4th attempt at prep. My first one, I was 7 weeks in, doing amazing. Pandemic happened, shows got canceled, gave up. Tried it again, ended up deciding to move to Orange County, so I stopped. Then I tried a 3rd time right when I moved to Orange County, and I was like, wait, I don't want to.
You need to get like situated, you need to figure out yourself.
I want to enjoy it, So now I feel like I'm finally in the right headspace. Prep is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, ever. It requires so much discipline.
And self-control.
Exactly. So this one, I told myself, like, I'm giving it my all. And it's nerve-wracking knowing that so many people are watching you because it's like, what if I fail? I don't want to disappoint anyone. But at the end of the day, this is a personal goal, and I think a reason why a lot of my followers like me is because I'm relatable. You know, I'm not. I'm not putting on this facade like my life is so perfect. This is so easy. Hell no. I'm like, you guys, I failed, but I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna try again. You know. So this one, I feel like it's so important to me because it's kind of like if I don't do this, I'm letting myself and everyone else down. So.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And so. So you just basically, what is it, 3 meals a day? What are you doing right now?
About 5 meals a day.
5 meals a day?
Yes.
Are they all kind of smaller portions then? Or like, and what are 2 of them, 3 of them the same? Or what?
3. So like the morning, I usually have oatmeal, egg whites, Then I'll have a protein shake. Then 3, 4, and 5 are some type of meat, like 4 ounces, some type of carb, vegetable, and then like a protein shake at night. And that's it. Yeah.
And the same thing, wake up the next day.
Every
So how long has this been going on?
So it has been a week and a half, and I'm so proud that I have not cheated once.
Okay.
Not once, even being back home. I want Pizza Villa so bad, by the way.
I know. I was gonna say, I knew you're a pizza.
Oh
You're a pizza fiend, basically.
I drive by Pizza Villa, and I just cry. And I'm just like, I miss you. I love you.
And so when was this? Is this competition?
August 13th in San Diego.
August.
Yes.
So how long?
4 months of this.
You're a week and a half right now.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So fun times.
Oh man, yeah. Because I remember when Tanner was on the podcast, he was kind of telling me like the same thing. And the thing that he said though, what that made me like, oh, okay, I could see how you could do that. He said that people like sometimes people are afraid of like seasening. He's like, you can season.
Oh
your
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Oh my god,
like,
salsa is my
yeah, exactly.
friend.
You find, I'm sure you like learn different things, like something you probably didn't think was a snack or a treat that you're like, like,
rice cakes.
Rice cake.
Are my,
because
like-
there's not many carbs in them, right?
I think it's like 11 grams of carbs per rice cake.
Really? Dude, the caramel ones are fucking
Amazing. That's my
banging.
favorite.
Those are so good. I put some peanut butter on those too. They're pretty
No
good.
peanut butter for me.
You can't do peanut butter? Why?
Too much fat.
I don't know anything.
Too many fats. In everyday life, not a problem. On prep life.
Yeah, on prep. Yeah.
No.
And then will your diet change throughout this though? So is it like 2 months of this and then 2 months
So
of
it's actually
that?
every week it changes my
Okay.
macros. So I'm carb cycling.
So what does that mean?
So I have one extremely low day. So I'll have anywhere from 45 grams to 60 grams of carbs. And then I'll have 2 medium days where it's like 60 to 90 grams. And then 1 high carb day, which is about 145 to 160 grams. Again, just depends on what my coach tells me that week.
And what is this, by changing the carbs and different things like that, what does that do for your body?
I think it just shocks the body.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
honestly, for this prep, I am so out of my zone when it comes to it. So I hired a coach. There's no way I could. I'm still learning, and I think that's the other cool thing about doing this is I'm learning so much.
You're learning while you do it.
Exactly. So
and you get to see the effects to your body that's actually
it's 1 week,
happening.
and so I started at 134. He told me not to weigh myself for 3 weeks, so I hope
You're
he's
like-
not watching this. But I'm a girl, and I'm like
Hey, by
on
the
that
time
scale.
this comes out, it'll be,
Yes,
it'll be 3
exactly.
weeks.
So I started at 134 with him, and I'm 129 in about 9 days.
Shit.
So yeah, but I'm
Really?
I'm doing
And
cardio,
so-
workouts, everything.
Okay, and so what's different about your workouts now that your prep comes?
Oh my God.
Are you dying in the gym, or I see you like
Dying.
Yeah, okay.
So when I'm by myself, I feel like my workouts are more therapeutic. Like I'm still pushing myself, but I'm not going as intense. When I'm with my coach, he terrifies me.
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
way.
yeah,
This
yeah.
man, like I look at him and I'm like scared. He's like an army sergeant. So he pushes me to my limits. And then I think just knowing that you have someone there kind of spotting you are, I personally can go heavier. It's
Yeah,
just like a mental thing.
it's for
Because
sure
it's like
a
if I'm
mental
going to fall, he's going to be like, I got you. I'm going to
Yeah,
help you
leaves.
back up.
Yeah.
So the workouts are 50,000 times more intense.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
Yeah.
And so you're doing all that, and then during like the last month, are things like a lot different? You know what I mean? Or like diet wise,
I
or
have no idea. I
workout-wise?
heard prep week is no, what is it called? Prep week. It's like the week before your competition. There's a name for it. I honestly can't remember it. They told me because I train in-person clients. They told me don't take any clients that week. Is literally going to be hard. So.
Yeah. Okay. So that's wild. So okay, and let's talk about. So what made you move to Orange County? Like what was that decision in your life?
Honestly, since I was young, I always dreamt of moving out of Merced. And, you hear about LA. So that was like my dream place.
Yeah.
I want to move to LA. Went to visit, absolutely hate LA.
Yeah.
I hate LA.
LA,
It's not what people think it is. It's
LA's
not.
a lot of. If I just go to, if I've ever been to tourist places in LA, and that's all I feel like I've been to. But like, I feel like LA would be cool if someone was showing me around. But like, it's like the same thing if you go to San Francisco. I mean, San Francisco's cool, but you know what I mean.
It's just a lot.
Yeah, it's a
and
lot
then
going on.
Coming from a small town, you're just like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So then I started visiting a friend in Orange County. I fell in love. It's
Little different
it
vibe.
just- yes, it's everything. So I actually, the way I moved, I had an idea that I was going to move, but the pandemic happened. So I kind of just put it off. And then I ended up visiting, and my friend lived in this complex, and his dad came to breakfast with us. His dad was the maintenance guy at this complex, and he's like, "Oh, they have a unit available. You should go look at it." So I go in. The manager comes in. I chit chat with him, and I'm like, "This is beautiful." He's like, "If you want it, it's yours. Sign the paper today." I moved within a week.
Really?
Yeah. So
just
it was just
all
meant to happen.
Spur of the moment, be in the right place, right time, that type of situation.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Really? So it was just fucking.
It was just meant to be.
Like
I
that.
think. Yeah, but I've always
And when
wanted,
was that again?
July of last year.
July
so I've
of
been there
last
about
year.
10 months, 9 or 10 months.
So almost a year.
Yeah.
And so when you first move in, well, how is it like adjusting? You got to find a
my
new
God.
gym. You got to figure out.
So the good thing was I had a friend who lived in the same complex. So he kind of gave me the tour of Orange County. Like, I knew where to go to the gym at. It was nice having him. And then I had another girlfriend who lived in LA, so she would come visit me. But I'm going to be so honest, the first 6 months there were so hard. I cried every single day because at the end of the day, we're adults. Those two people had their own lives. So I was alone a lot of the time. And then my work is on my phone, so it's like I don't go see people. I was alone.
So you do a lot of your work on the phone is like you coach people, kind of, or what is
no,
it?
so I just started personal training in person. I am launching online training very soon.
Okay, I think I saw something about that.
But like for my sponsorships, that was like my work. So I would just do content and then post for Instagram, do content for whatever sponsors I have that day because we have contracts. So I have certain days I have to post and that
hit your
stuff.
quotas or whatever.
Yeah, but again, I'm by myself doing all that stuff. So the first 6 months in Orange County were so hard.
Yeah, that sounds a little rough.
I missed my friends and family more than anything. So
and you had to kind of start over, kind of.
Yeah, and you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
You're meeting all these people. You don't know like
everyone's intentions or whatever. Yeah.
And I will say Orange County, because it's a bigger place and everyone has similar goals, I feel like a lot of the interactions are like transactional. Who are you? What can I get from you?
Like what? How can we benefit each other
Yeah,
versus like, hey, let's.
And
just
that's the one thing that you don't really get in Merced. I feel like
Oh,
in Merced
no.
it's very genuine.
Yeah,
like I could just meet you at a bar and be like, hey, what's up? Oh, you do the cool. And I just like you as a person.
Yeah.
And in Orange County, I'm not saying this for everyone. There's great people in Orange
but
County.
I've heard that in just bigger cities and the stuff
Very
like that. So I had
transactional.
this guy, Scott Patrick, come on, and he's a musical artist, but he was saying like Tennessee's like really cool, Nashville's like really cool for the whole country scene and everything like that. He was saying, but it just kind of feels like every now and then it's kind of like, oh, you meet someone cool, you're vibing, and it's kind of like, oh, well, what can you do to help me now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and it's a lot different because I think small towns are like, you don't get that vibe.
No.
And the thing I've been realizing recently about the Central Valley, it's like, it was Scott brought it up that it's just a collection of a whole bunch of small towns with a whole bunch of like hole in the wall places.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So like if you're not from Merced and you come in, you're probably not gonna find Tony's Courtyard Cafe or like
No.
you know
H&W.
H&W.
You wouldn't stop. You know,
You're like, I'm not gonna stop here
Yeah.
or like Bangkok or whatever all the millions of great restaurants there are, but you know what I mean? But that's what I like about the Valley. It's like you can meet somebody from, and I went to Los Banos the other day to hang out with my buddy, and he was like, oh, you've never been to, I forget what the cafe was called, but it's some cafe. And he was like, this cafe is known everywhere, man. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, and he was like, no, I'm serious. He was like, and we walk in and there's a whole bunch of articles from like San Francisco about this cafe. And I was like, oh, that's
cool.
interesting.
I'll have to go there.
And then this guy, like we're sitting there where we just ordered, and then this like guy like stumbles in, like he came from nowhere. And then he like looks at us and he's like, they got waffles here? And he was just like, and then my buddy was like, yeah, they got waffles here. And he was like, I just heard about this place from somebody in LA.
Oh my God.
And then he just turns and he's like, I told you, man.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God,
what the
he
hell,
proved
man?
his point.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just hella laughing. I think maybe it was like I don't think it's AJ's Cafe. I think that's something in Turlock, but
I'll have
you
to
know, yeah.
make a
I'll
trip
get you
there.
the name
Yeah,
of it.
for
Yeah, it's
sure.
pretty on your way up or down. You know what I mean? And then so you're going to your competition, and so how did you kind of link up with like all these different brands and people you work for, and what is like work as quote an influencer? You know what I mean? Like what different avenues do you have to make money and to be successful?
Okay, so let me start off by saying this. I feel like this is a really important thing to put in the podcast because I get this DM or when I do the questions box, it's like, how do you become an influencer? The scariest thing, and this could like relate to you too. There's no roadmap. I cannot tell you. You know, like when someone gets a degree to be a teacher, it's like you do this, you take this test, and you do this. There's like kind of a roadmap for it. For this, there's no roadmap. You kind of just go with the flow of it. And so I remember the first brand to ever reach out to me was TC1, and I wasn't making any money. This was the first brand, and they offered me a contract. and they send over like salary and commission, and my mouth dropped because I was like, oh my God, they're going to pay me this much a month to just post. And then Alphalete reached out to me, and then Primeval Labs. And so basically you get a contract. Every single contract is different. We could, if you're an influencer, I'm an influencer, and Alphalete reaches out to both of us, doesn't mean we're getting paid the same.
Yeah.
Every single person's contract is different. All the requirements are different. So you kind of just negotiate too. And that's another hard thing, is like knowing your worth and knowing what you deserve and what you can provide.
It's hard to do that, especially when you're new into something, whether it's the same thing with photography, videography. It's like, you kind of have to like take in, like when you're first starting out, it's like, well, like, hey, I need experience, but I can't be charging people the much as I want to be charging them in the future or whatever. So it's kind of, and then after like getting better or like, getting used to it, you learn, and you have to be like, okay, like I have to not be afraid to be like, hey, I know like our contract's up. Can we like up it or whatever?
Absolutely. And I think another thing that helped was reaching out. Again, I started in 2018, and I'm definitely like not one of the first fitness influencers. There was so many girls doing it before, but I feel like I started at a time where there wasn't so many as there are now.
You're still a little early, which is weird to think, because you think like Instagram was like 2017, 18 is not that long ago.
Yeah, it's actually, like, that was 4 years ago.
Exactly,
it's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I would actually talk to a few other girls who had followings, and we would help each other, like, wait, how much are you getting? Should we ask for more? So just like how you can talk to other photographers, videographers, and kind of, get advice. I did that with a lot of people, and that's kind of how I started to realize, like, oh, wait, I can charge more? Like, what the heck? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like you just kind of learn. So for work, as far as like sponsorships, I don't get paid. Well, now I do directly through Instagram. They pay for Reels. They just started that. But as an influencer, majority of your money is going to come from sponsorships and then contracts. So I'll give an example, like my Primeval Labs contract. I'm required to do X amount of posts within the month, X amount of stories, stuff like that, and then I get a salary and a certain commission.
Oh, okay.
So and then I just hit those marks. And then same thing. Alphalete, it's a little different. I don't have requirement posts, but I mean, I do have to promote.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it goes. But I will say again to anyone who wants to get in this industry, please, please, please do not do it for the money, because I've seen girls who are just promoting a crazy amount of products, and it just seems ingenuine.
Yeah.
Anyone who's followed
Pick and
me.
choose kind of.
Yeah. I have other clothing brands who hit me up every month. And they're big, but for me, my word means more than anything. So I'm going to stick to one brand. Because you guys, like, my followers aren't just sales numbers to me. They're people. And if I'm going to promote a product, it's going to be because I believe in it, stuff like that. So.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then so, I'm trying to think. So so you do this stuff with all these brands, right? And then like you were saying earlier, like you're very open. You're very open with your followers about everything.
Absolutely.
About things that a lot of people may not have been open about. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, you did like you documented your whole like breast
augmentation,
augmentation and everything like that. You know what I mean? So what has pushed you to be so open with your followers, your friends, your family?
Honestly, this is so funny. Okay, so, and I hope I don't get hate for this, because people always but I love the Kardashians.
Okay, gotcha.
Take away whatever, then no one's perfect. But their business mindset is everything. And I remember watching a Kris Jenner interview, and she said, if I told my daughters, if we're going to do a reality show, we're going to record everything, the good, the bad. And I really like that she said that, because again, it's like people want to watch people who are real. I personally cannot watch shows where the girl's like, I'm perfect, I have perfect everything. Like, that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
So it's like anything that I want to go to, I want to put it out there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? And I've wanted to vlog so much more, but it's honestly so time consuming and hard to remember to pick up a camera. But I remember watching a few breast augmentation videos, and they were so informative. And it's like, wow, this helped me, so I'm going to record mine so I can help someone else. And I actually get so many DMs to this day of like, hey, I just watched your video. Thank you so much. It helped. And then they ask me questions and I respond, and again, that's how you build your relationship.
Yeah, and like you were saying, I think people they like authenticity. They like when they can tell what someone, and that's why I think like through the podcast, people know that I'm just being me having conversations with people, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious. I just want to ask people questions.
Yeah,
I want to see what drives different people, you know what I mean? And it's not scripted. It's nothing that some people think because it looks professional, they think that there's a whole team of people and everything like that. I mean, I was like, no, it's just me and my buddy, but it's nothing crazy, you know what I mean? And that's what I see with you, is that you're so authentic with the different routes and different things that you do, where you're saying I could have all these other brands, but I'd rather just do the brands that I actually support, that I actually like, you know what I mean? And it's hard to do that, because like you're saying, sometimes it's people want to do it for money, you know what I mean? But then it's like, well, then if you do that, then you could be getting more money now, but less
Long
money.
term,
Less money later because you already sold yourself out to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think the one thing that I've learned is to look at things more long term.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm glad I got into social media at the age that I did. I started, I think, when I was 24.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have done this at 18, I wouldn't have. I think I would have took every brand deal, and I wouldn't be as wise about it. So I'm glad that I'm at the age where I think a little more long term and like, okay, what's right, what's wrong, what's moral, stuff like that.
Dang, yeah, I like that a lot. I like that. And then so I do have some people's questions here.
Okay.
So we'll
excited.
we'll just go through them. Granted, these are them, so
okay, let's get to it.
The first one's just the first one. It says you still have an OnlyFans.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and so with that, you're open with that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so that's just interesting. So you still have one, still open to them. It's not in your bio, or you don't have a link tree or anything.
So I actually just took it out because again, algorithm thing. They said if you are promoting any other like sites in your Instagram that they kind of not shadow ban. Yeah. So I took it out and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this for 3 weeks. Nothing has changed. So I'm putting that back. I actually
I was like, normally she has like a link tree or something.
Yeah. So in you have to like put your link tree on your laptop, and I didn't bring my laptop with me. So as soon as I get home, because there's a bunch of things on my link tree, like all my codes and stuff. But yeah, and a lot of people actually ask me like, why did you start OnlyFans?
Yeah. I was gonna
So let's
even
get
for me
into
as a
that.
guy, you know what I mean? It's like I feel kind of weird asking these questions.
Oh
you know
God,
what I mean?
no.
And I'm like, but like, yeah. So what kind of drove you to want to start an OnlyFans?
Yeah. So that's one thing. Anything I do it with pride.
Yes.
So let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
I actually met some girlfriends in LA who also had followings, and they were like, girl, how do you not do OnlyFans? Do you know how much money you can make? Because they had about 50 to 70,000 followers. And obviously I have like 150. So they're like, you're insane. They showed me how much they're making. And I'm like, oh my God, it's insane.
Well, you get like 100 guys to do it for $30 a month, right? It's like $3,000.
Yeah, just off the subscription.
Yeah.
So.
And then do people like can they tip and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's private messages is where the money is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then, okay, I'm from Merced. Out here, we're raised a little more conservative. It's just
and
it's
you know if
different.
like you have OnlyFans out or
if you
it's
get judged.
Everybody. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. It's the good things and bad things for being a small.
So the one thing with doing social media. Again, when I first started, I told myself, you have to be so strong within yourself and you have to know people are going to judge you, even just for fitness content. So I feel like me building up my self-confidence, that helped a lot with doing OnlyFans as far as not caring what people think. I remember, so it was 2020. I went to celebrate Father's Day at my parents' house, and I was joking with them at the table, and I said something about OnlyFans, and my mom was like, girl, do whatever you want to do. If that's what makes you happy. And I was like, wait, are you serious? And I looked at my stepdad and he's like, do what makes you happy. Like, we love you and we know that you have a good head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So I went home and I thought about it and I was like, should I do this? Like, and I reached out to my brands and I was like, is it okay? It
doesn't matter.
Yeah. And they were like, go for it. You know what I mean? So I thought about it and I was like, you know what? It's just another form of social media. I get to control the content.
Yeah.
But there are downfalls. And I had this mental talk with myself and I was like, whatever you post, you have to understand that it can be out there for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I kind of weighed out the pros and the cons. I did it. I got a crazy amount of support from my women followers, by the way. I was amazed at that.
I'm sure some of your guy followers were supporting you.
Oh, they were so happy.
Ways.
I got a few girls who were like, I'm unfollowing you. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm not for everyone. I understand that. This is my life. I did OnlyFans, and I will say I made a life-changing amount of money. And that, I'm not going to lie, is what helped me be able to move to Orange County on a whim. And not in like, I'm so humble with everything I say, but if I didn't do OnlyFans, I would be struggling in Orange County. Like, I would probably not even have like furniture. You know what I mean? But it was such a stress relief to be able to be like, hey, I'm moving into this place. I can furnish it. I don't have to stress. So, but OnlyFans, I do everything with pride and I hold my head high. I know some people don't agree with it. I get messages all the time like, you're not going to find a husband. I have people proposing to me on OnlyFans. Like, some guy invited me to his Marine Corps ball. He's like, please, I'll fly you out. Like, and I'm like, no, thank you, but thank you.
Yeah.
So, it's, I'm just very confident and I'm very comfortable in my.
So what is the user? I've never even used OnlyFans. Okay. So the user face of OnlyFans, each girl is in charge of whatever they're posting.
So
you know
it's like, think about, okay, think about Instagram, how you have your page and you post pictures. So you have your OnlyFans page and you post pictures that anyone who's subscribed to you can see. And then you have your
paid subscription as well, or no? That's what that is?
No, that's the paid subscription.
Gotcha.
And then you have your DMs, or it's called just direct message, I think, on there. And that's where you can send more. Or
if people message you asking.
Yes, different types of content, whatever you're comfortable posting, sending, and then you can charge for that picture. So what you do is you upload the picture in the messages tab, you select a price that you want to sell it for, and then you send it. And whoever opens it, as soon as they open it, it's charged. So you get that money like right away.
Wow, really?
So that's where a lot of the money is made.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
if you don't mind me asking, what's the most you've ever sold a photo for? You don't have
$200.
$200?
That's the max.
Okay, that's the max you can do?
Because Bella Thorne ruined it for everyone.
Wish she was charging a stupid amount?
Yeah, because I think it was like unlimited, and then she scammed everyone for like $1 million, saying she was going to send a topless picture, and she never did. So they I don't know, they set up all these new rules.
Gotcha.
So,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's little FYI about some OnlyFans you got.
I knew you were going to get OnlyFans questions.
Well,
I was like,
exactly,
no.
yeah.
And I was going to tell you at the beginning, like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I do it. I had a whole YouTube video on it, but YouTube deleted my OnlyFans videos.
And and you were just kind of explaining it?
Yeah, but because I think it was like OnlyFans, it was like sexual content, so like flagged my page, and you can only get, I think, like 2 or 3, or your page is deleted.
Yeah.
So I just deleted the
You're
videos.
like, whatever, it's not worth it. Well, speaking, this is going to go separate, but like, so your YouTube page, you are consistent on it. Like, you're not as consistent as probably as you'd like to be. You know what I mean? Like, that's like everybody and everything. You know what I mean? But you still post, because even though if you miss a couple months, then it'll be like, okay, you make up with the next few months and stuff like that. And so on there, like, what kind of started? Like, do you have a camera and everything too?
I have 3 cameras.
Really?
I should have brought them so you can teach me how to use them.
I know. You should.
I know how to click it on, and dude, this last one, I hired someone. I don't know, it's like an assistant to help me with content now. And I am so dumb. And I think she even looked at me crazy, but she's new, so I think she was like a little timid to say anything. I was like, hold the camera long ways, I was thinking Reels and TikTok format, so I recorded the whole YouTube video wrong.
Oh.
So I don't know how to use cameras. I need to get better at that. I was like, I'm going to spend an entire day. I have a Canon M50, a Sony.
I just bought my wife that one.
Yeah, and it's a really good camera.
I like that
and then I have the Sony A6600, and then I have another Sony.
Oh, okay.
I forget which one. So I have 3
You
cameras.
need that, and honestly, what blows my mind more is that, like, I feel like at least for you, like, lighting is what's more, or sometimes more important than the camera itself.
That stuff.
So
I really
if you get like a good light like this, you put it like at a little angle, get some shadows on your face. Then on your videos, it's gonna just seem like they're gonna be like, "Wow, she got a new camera." It's like, no, you actually just got good lighting. But like, it's funny. Everyone thinks that like. I'm telling you this so you don't have to buy another camera. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Just invest in some good lights. 1, you'll like lights anyways for your photos. You know what I mean? So it's going to help you out there. 2, helps out your videos. You know what I mean?
Thank you for the tip. I'm going to use
got
that for
you.
sure. I'm going to shout you out when my videos look good.
There we go. There we go.
This is for Micah.
Exactly. And then so the next question is, what was the first step in getting healthy for you?
Honestly, committing to a workout routine. And I tell everyone, don't even focus on the food, because I think that's the hardest part. Establish a gym routine. So when I first started my first month, it was 3 times a week, and I only did a mile. And to me, for someone who was so out of shape, hated the gym. I was so self-conscious. That's why I love In Shape on G Street, because it has like those treadmills that were kind of tucked away. I would walk in. I was so embarrassed to be there. I'd run straight to the treadmills. I'd do my mile and I'd leave. I did that 3 times a week just for 1 month. And then
I get a little more confidence.
Yeah, I get confident. And I was like, wait, like I can do this. And then I started doing 2 miles, and then 2 miles turned into 5 miles. And that's just kind of how it started.
Okay,
so I always
snowballed.
say, start with just establishing a gym routine.
Yeah. And like you're saying, like I went for a month, 3 times a week, just doing a mile each time.
And I felt so accomplished.
And if you're just going there, and then it's like, well, now I can do a mile and then add something.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you're a fitness influencer,
right? It's crazy, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You have no idea where that first little step can take you if you're consistent.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing with the photography and videography and whatever your craft may be. It's just the consistency of it all. Yeah. You just need to stay consistent. And you'll do the same thing with podcasting, because it's like, when I look at myself in the first podcast, it's like I look back and like I'm glad they look shitty, and then I'm glad that I went with it and wasn't like, oh, I need to be perfect, because it's like there's always room to grow, and if you're not going to grow if you don't ever give your chance to start.
Yes, and that's why I noticed a lot of people too will delete their old videos of when they first started. I leave everything. I have all my videos from like 2018 that were awful.
Yeah.
And I look back and I'm like, why would I post this? Why would I post this? This is so bad. But I leave it because I want people to see the growth, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, that's the same thing here. I love the growth of it. I love going back and being like, oh, like this is what the promos used to be. This is what they are now.
Yeah.
And when people can watch the show develop and grow, or watch you develop and grow, and it's cool to see that and be a part of it and not be like ashamed of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think it's cool for other girls to watch, or other people, whoever it is, to be like, whoa, I'm starting at the same place where she used to be.
Mm-hmm.
If she can get to where she is, so can I.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like the basis of any social media I do. I just want to show people whatever you want, it's possible. Work for it.
Yeah.
Work hard, because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is so hard.
Yeah, it is. It is hard. Like, it's funny because there's like the quote that's like, I quit my 9-to-5 job so I could live the life I want to. It was like, now I work 24/7.
I work 24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
you're just
really
working all the time, and like I had so many people's projects before I went to Costa Rica that I had to do. But I came back and I knocked 3 of them out, and I was like,
right now? Yeah.
I was like, thank God. But
I have like 3 posts that I need to do. I have no idea how I'm going to do them. I'm like, I'm like stressed. I'm like, I'm like, Mom, get the camera out. You're taking a picture for me right now, because I have brands that are like, girl, you got contracts. Come on. So yeah, even when I go on vacation, it's work never stops.
Yeah.
And when you sign a contract, people don't care if you're sick. They don't care. Like, if you have those requirements, you have to get them. And same with you. If you do someone's wedding and you get sick, they still want their pictures. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's why weddings, at least, it's like weddings are kind of okay because you can be like 2 to 3 months, and they're like, oh, I get it. Like, no, I mean, they want their sneak peek or whatever, but after that, it's like whatever. But like, yeah. And then but the thing about weddings that's like interesting for me, it's like, okay, like I don't get paid till the day of the wedding. I can take like a deposit, but I don't get like, paid, you know what I mean, till the day of the wedding. But then it's like, okay, like because a wedding film at least, like it can last 3 months of me editing it. You know what I mean?
Because there's so much.
And by the time like that 3 months is up, it's like I feel like there's no more money left. But it's like I already got out the money. You know what I mean? It's just that I still have these projects that you're working on. So it's all about when you start doing things for yourself. It's about you realizing like, oh, now it's like me having a business. Like I am a business myself, but like you don't have to do all the things that you never thought you would have to do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's funny. All right, next question. Filters or natural look?
What do you mean?
I don't know. That's all the questions said.
So
Depends.
Honestly, on my stories, I try to use as least amount of filters. For the most part, everything I post is kind of just real. I'll use a filter here and there if I'm feeling really, really, really like just not feeling how I look that day. But all my pictures, I do use like presets on them and everything. But I don't like freaking, what are those like, I see it on TikTok, like when girls like really edit themselves and they look insane, like a whole nother person. So I don't do any of that. I'll use like story filters sometimes, but no, for the most part, I try to just be natural.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then, are you single?
Yes, I am single.
All right, you guys heard it
I
here.
made a promise to myself to focus on myself.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And then, is there anything you're insecure about now? And I feel like even if you were, you'd be open about it.
And I'm trying to think of like my biggest, because everyone's insecure about a few things. I feel like I've really embraced a lot. I mean, I feel like I do have, like, I carry a lot of my weight in my legs, so I have like a lot of cellulite on the back of my legs, but I don't let it like consume me.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. Like, I wish it wasn't there, but I'm not going to let it like stop me from living life. But there's like a lot of little things I'm insecure about. I'm actually going to Colombia soon to get veneers.
There's your teeth, right?
Yeah, teeth, new teeth.
The whole thing?
The whole thing. I've been trying to look for doctors out here, but out here it's like $40,000.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
you can literally fly to somewhere.
Yeah, so Colombia, it's about $11,000, top and bottom. So
damn,
I'm excited for that.
So what do they like?
Everyone thinks they file them down to shark teeth, which some, like I think in Turkey they do maybe, but in Colombia they do a slight file, and then they put the veneers, they're porcelain veneers.
Like over?
Yeah.
And they just kind of make you straighten up your teeth?
And they're just like perfect new teeth.
Really?
Yeah, and my teeth aren't really too much of an insecurity, but I've always loved big, beautiful teeth, so I'm like, let's do it, you know? I feel like whatever you can't work on, just get it done. You know what I mean? That's just my mindset, and I love it.
Well, then you also did your lips, right?
Yeah, so I have, oh my God, I'm so open about that. I think I have a vlog on that.
That's the one where a lot of people try to hide it. I'm like, hey, you can't really hide that one, you guys. You know what I mean? It's your face.
So I've gotten my lips done. I've gotten filler in my cheeks because when I lost weight, I lost a lot of volume in my cheeks. So I get filler right here. I got chin filler. Is that it? Yeah. Lips, chin, and cheeks. And then I get Botox in my forehead.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I remember getting a comment. Some girls like, "You're so beautiful." I'm like, "Girl, it's the filler.
Yeah.
It's the filler and the Botox. That's why."
Is there a balance to it? You know what I mean? Because some people obviously go a little overboard.
Yeah. So I go to a doctor in Glendale, and she's amazing. And I call her mom because she's older, and she'll be like, "No," because I want everything. I'm like, "Do my whole face," and she's like, "No, we're not doing that. Like, don't be dramatic."
Yeah.
So I try to do everything very naturally. So I did like one. I forgot what it's called, but like one syringe in each cheek.
Mm-hmm.
I think when girls start getting like 4 or 5, that's when it's a little dramatic. But everyone likes certain looks. Some girls really like that fake face look. You know what I mean? Especially in Orange County. And that's the one thing. In Orange County, it's so normal. It's like, "Oh, who's your doctor?" Like, you know, it's
who's your doctor?
It's like, who do you go? Oh, you go to her too? Like out here, it's like, wait, you got filler? You know? So it's just different. But no, I love filler so much. Yes, I got my lips done. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
And with the lips, is it kind of scary in the sense because
God.
Doesn't it get more swollen like the day after?
Can I show you a picture?
I think I saw you post it, and I was like, I don't know what this girl's doing. I'm just kidding.
I think I actually I just saved it recently. Yeah, they destroyed my lips. Look at. That was bad. So that was the first time I didn't have any reaction. The second time, this is what happened.
And were you like, what the fuck?
She hit a vein or a tissue or something.
That's crazy.
And it was like that for 3 weeks. It was so painful.
3 weeks?
Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of scared to go get them redone. I would go to a different person. Yeah. But that's the one thing with filler. You never know how it's going to come out.
And does filler and all these things, do they slowly like wear off?
Your body metabolizes them.
And what is it?
It's hyaluronic acid. So your body already naturally has that. They just basically put it in
certain sections.
Yes. And then eventually as time goes on, your body just kind of eats away at it, I guess. So there are articles that say it migrates, but I haven't had that issue. So
that's interesting. That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, then my wife showed me today. You know who Danica Patrick is? She's like a race car driver. Because she's a race car driver, but she had fake boobs for like a long time, or not a long time, like recently, and then like she had got a whole bunch of started getting like all these problems, and the doctors are prescribing all this stuff, and she couldn't figure it out, and then she had the implants taken out, and like they show a before and after, just her face, and like it was automatically clear or whatever. And I know everybody's body's obviously super different, you know what I mean? But have you felt anything from yours at all?
No, I do think that a lot of women, when they start having issues, it's like years later. So I pray that never happens, but I know it is.
And it's like technology is probably like progressing in the sense of, I don't know what they probably were putting in people 20 years ago versus what they're putting in people now.
And then the one thing that I did pay a little bit extra to get gummy bear implants. So they're a little bit safer and they last longer too.
What are they called? Gummy bear
implants?
Yeah.
So there's like silicone, saline, and then I think it's like, I forgot, but I know it's just gummy bear, something like that. So
that's interesting. And what is was just like safer? Is that?
Yeah, and it feels more natural.
Feels more natural.
That was important to me.
Yeah, and then so like it's like you wait. What's the recovery process like when you get them?
Oh my God, I had to sit on the couch for like 2 weeks and do
and just
nothing.
like let your
body.
Well, because where do they cut you at?
So I got it under the boob.
Under the boob?
Yeah, so you can't like lift your arms. It's so painful for like 2 weeks. So you just literally lay there and rest.
And then is there stitches?
Yeah. And then
you can't put any like
mine, I think.
What do you wear? You wear like
this hideous bra. It's like a hideous recovery bra. It looks like a grandma bra. It's so ugly.
So like before you get beautiful, you gotta look like this, you guys.
Yes, that's why you know what? I recommend everyone getting it done in the winter. Because, you know, in the summer, you want to wear summer tops.
Yeah. That way, wintertime, you're already wearing sweaters and whatever else.
Exactly.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yes, and then I got it done during quarantine. So it was perfect. I just kind of chilled at home, big sweaters. No one saw me. Yeah.
Dang. And what were you doing for your brands during that time? Do you have a stockpile?
I actually stocked up on content. Smart. I remember I was.
You still do that? I'm sure you have days where you're like, all right, let's get this.
So that's the one thing that I, when I hired this assistant, I have her for like a few hours and I'll do like different outfits, or I'll have her come shoot or whatever the case may be. So then I have like, okay, Tuesday and Thursday's post, I already have those done. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's helped so much.
Yeah, just because organize your life. Yeah, my wife's been helping me organize my life. Because before, it was just like, oh, I could do everything myself, whatever. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
And then it was like, got to the point where like I was like having multiple clients, and I was also working on projects, and then I was trying to do the podcast, and it was like all 3 separate video photography podcasts are separate but together, and I was like, and then she was just like, hey, can I just like make a calendar for you?
I
was like,
love
that'd
her
be
for
awesome.
that.
And I just text her anytime. I'm like, yeah, this is my calendar. I'm
yeah,
like,
so
thank you.
That's amazing that you have that, because my goal with my assistant that I just hired, she's never done anything like this, you know. So right, I kind of like want to mold her to where she's a full-time assistant for me.
Yeah,
because
that's
I do
cool.
plan on growing a lot.
Yeah.
So I want her to kind of grow with me and
Yeah.
then take on more and more and more. So right now it's just helping me out with the content, kind of seeing what I like, and then eventually it'll be more. Because having someone to help you takes so much stress off.
It does,
so.
yeah. Same thing. I think whatever the craft is, it's always easier to have a helping hand versus like me trying to go over here. Like if I'm setting up something, I'm go over here, then I'm like, okay, and I'm not in focus. No, I move it again. I'm like, I'm still not in focus. You know what I mean? Versus having somebody, hey, can you just press on my face so it focuses? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The smallest
or telling
little,
you like, hey, fix your hair. Oh, your shirt's tucked in or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Some people like I tell people like it takes like 30, 40 hours for us to like edit one podcast, and they're like, why? And I'm like, well, you got to think like it's an hour or 2 hours of the podcast time. Then it's like, okay, I have to edit the podcast fully together once, and then Duffy has to edit all the audio. Then it's like the promos are its own, like I film the promos completely separate than the podcast as well. So it's like people think that it's just like, oh, I'm like cutting snippets, pastes, and things like that. I'm like, no, like there's
so much.
There's a lot more that people don't realize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like we're not trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm the hardest worker or whatever.
But it's just reality.
It's just reality is like everything's time consuming. So like that's why it's like I've been getting, or recently I get more and more DMs, and it's like I do try to respond to them, but sometimes I'm just like,
yeah, and that's the one thing I try to tell everyone. It's like if I could sit on my phone every day and have genuine conversations with everyone, I would. But that's not reality. You know what I mean? It's hard. You know, you're running around 24/7, and then you take little breaks to respond and to keep up with conversations. It's hard.
And then you feel like you're on your phone all the time, and you want to be on your phone all the time, and it's like
and by the end of the day, it's like you're dead. You just want to like lay there and like not use your brain. So
yeah, exactly. Lay there like you just got your breast implants. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's funny. All right, next people's question. Let's see what it says. How much did you weigh when you first started?
So my highest weight I think was like 196, but I don't count that because I actually got my tonsils removed and I like lost 10 pounds from that.
Oh,
so
really?
I didn't do work. So I'm like, I can't credit those 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So I started.
It was actually 78 pounds.
Yeah, but I started my weight loss journey at 187. So that's when I started working out.
Yeah, dang,
so
187.
Yeah, but.
And then how long did it take you to like lose those first 50 pounds?
11 months. Or no. So 68 pounds in 11 months.
68 pounds in 11 months.
Yeah.
Dang. And so then you got to one what?
My lowest weight was 115.
And then from there was kind of building up.
Yes,
again.
and then building up. And then I usually maintain like 125-ish. But I knew I was going to start prep, so I got to like 135.
You're
so
like,
I was living. I didn't do any cardio. I wasn't doing anything. I was like, I'm eating. I'm not doing any cardio.
Because you already knew that you're going to be disciplining.
Yeah, and it's better to actually start with no cardio. Because then again, once you start prep, it's like a shock to your body, so you actually drop faster.
Yeah.
So.
And then by the time your competition comes, how much will you weigh then?
So the coach that I have now, he said there's like a certain number, but it's more on how you look. Everyone holds fat differently. So he said anywhere from like 105 to 110.
Wow.
Yes, really.
And you're
really,
129 or 130 right now?
129, yeah. So it's crazy. Again, it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
You're going to drop. But is it kind of like, you know, when people cut for UFC and stuff, is it kind of like where that last week you're really draining your body?
And that's why they say the last week it's really hard. Yeah, and like don't take clients. There's like, I don't know how it is.
But like, do you feel bad when you're up there then? You know what I mean?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Like, it seems like I'm like, you know, I'm sure like there's days when you work out and you're like, oh, I look good today. You know what I mean? It's like opposite of, I mean, you do look good, but it's in a different way.
Yeah, I have no idea. We'll see. I mean, I'll come back on the podcast after my show and tell you how I felt. Because I think I forgot what day you like don't drink water. You don't take one sip of water.
And you're like sweat
dehydrated.
out. I'm like, what do you drink? Do you drink anything?
Nothing. You dehydrate your body so your muscles.
You get a lot of cramps that day. You know, I
have
feel
no
like
idea.
You get like a whole bunch of cramps that day from like. The worst is like a calf cramp. Like,
oh my God, I hate those.
I used to get them every now and then when I would sleep.
Me too. I wake up and
you're like you don't know what to do. I'm just like.
Yeah.
And then you just like lay there. And you're like, okay.
You just let it pass.
I think,
I like breathe like I'm giving birth. Yeah, I'm like,
you're like,
breathe through it. Yes.
I'm like, and then like you're like quiet because you're like don't want to be loud at night.
Yeah. Those are the worst.
That's funny. And then, how do you stay motivated? What motivates you today?
Honestly, there's some days when I'm just so unmotivated, but I just tell myself like you have to work towards what you want, and I'm really big on like living your one life to its fullest potential. I told you this earlier. I always think about future me. Like, is future me going to be proud of how I live today? You know, and I have so many goals for myself. And when I'm not chasing something, I'm really depressed. Like, I'm like,
you need to have something that you're working towards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the good thing about setting goals and setting things. And like, with photography, videography, and the podcast, it kind of allowed me to be like, well, there's always something that I got to be working on, whether it's something for a client or something for myself. You know what I mean? And it's like the podcast ended up being an outlet where I could do videography, photography, but I thought it was going to be separate. Like I thought it was like videography, photography, podcast. But now it's like they all coincide because like I'm getting people hitting me up to do work for them because they listen to my podcast. You know what I mean? And it just like benefits like in all these different ways that I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it's like the things that you don't realize that kind of come to fruition. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I forgot what the quote is, but basically it's like once you put what you want out there to the universe, like the universe kind of sends that to
you like
know
manifest.
what I mean?
It's a manifest destiny kind of type of deal. It's kind of you say things and you kind of speak it into existence.
Yes.
And I used to like kind of be like, like.
No, I believe that.
I believe that more and more. No, yeah. I believe that more and more and more. And for a while there, I didn't. And it's also like, it's like horoscopes, you know what I mean? Personally, as a guy, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I could relate to all of them. Like, yeah, they do kind of have some truths or whatever. Yeah. But it's also like now, as I get older, I feel like there's energy in the world, and there's definitely like good energy and bad energy, and you definitely feel when you are not vibing with somebody. You know what I mean? And you're like, I gotta get out of the situation. And you definitely feel like the podcast has showed me that like when I sit down and I have a conversation with somebody, it's like so interesting, and I feel like I'm just benefiting from this because I'm just talking to somebody, figuring out what drives them, and I feel like recharged after having a really good conversation with somebody. And that's what I hope that people who listen to it are like also feeling those things as well.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm really big on manifesting an energy more than anything because I'm not kidding. Everything that I have to this day, like everything that I've accomplished, I've envisioned it. To the fullest. So that's why I'm really big on like set a goal, envision yourself accomplishing it, and work towards that goal. Yeah. Manifestation is everything.
I agree. And then the last question here is, what do you like to work out the most?
Legs and glutes.
Legs and
Always.
glutes. I was coming up with these questions, and not these ones, but some of them. And like one of them, I was like, I did something. I said like I have like a butt workout, and my wife's like, put glutes, like, and I was just like, I'm a guy, man. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
glutes
legs
just
and glutes.
Sounds
What's a killer workout for the ladies out there or guys?
Oh my goodness, hip thrust. I feel like a lot of guys don't want to do hip thrust.
Oh yeah,
hip thrust. Your glutes will be on fire.
It's like an opposite motion than you normally do with your glutes, huh? Well, like normally when you're working at glutes, you're like bending down a lot. You know what I mean? You're not like thrusting, other than like deadlifts that a lot of guys do.
Yeah, but
and so you do that, and then what do you do? Like just crawl under the bar and then drag it up?
Well, I feel like I'm shorter, so but the 45s are perfect. I kind of just roll it over my legs.
But you lean on something, right?
Yeah,
so how do you position your back, or like
you put it like right below your you don't have bra straps.
Yeah.
Like right below your shoulder blades. That's where your
you use a bench, right?
Yeah, you use a bench, or you can use what are those things where you like pile them up? I literally don't know the names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I usually use those, and then you just push through your heels, and you feel it all in your glutes and your hamstrings. Man. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite.
Hip thrusters are the way.
Yeah, and RDLs too. Those are my.
I like RDLs. RDLs will fuck you up, and you can do you can just like do a lightweight, and you're like, I'm just gonna do some RDLs, and like for some reason I get sore every single time.
And you know what? I've realized with RDLs, it's helped a lot with my grip strength too.
Oh.
So. Yeah, I like RDLs a lot.
Yeah, my hamstrings are always so tight already though that I feel like RDLs.
I recently started getting body work done out in Orange County where I work.
Is that like with the different
like
the cupping and stuff like that? And so what benefits do you feel like that has? For you?
So basically, the guy out there who does it, he said that there's like a lot of buildup of like lactic acid,
and
he
like
said that helps
and stuff like that.
So he said,
so it kind of sucks it up and slowly moves the lactic acid.
Yeah, and so he said when you do that, you allow more oxygen to flow, and then so you have better workouts.
That makes sense. I always see people do that. And then what other body work? Do you have any other body work that you do with them? Like just massaging and stuff like that?
Just like the massaging and the cupping right now. I am terrified of chiropractors.
Yeah.
I have like an irrational fear of them.
There's a good/bad rep on them. So as I feel like, and like, it's like, because it's one of those things where it's like, you guys are like doctors, but like, you also can't fuck up somebody's back. You know what I mean?
Why it's like I don't
a fine line of doing it. But granted, though, you'll be like, I'll go to my friend and be like, hey, can you pump my back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't pop anything. I'm terrified.
I have my friends like, just pump my back for me if you can.
No, I don't even pop my own knuckles.
Really? You make me want to pop my knuckles.
Don't do it. Oh my God. It's like nails on a chalkboard for me. I don't pop anything on my body. No.
I mean, it accidentally pops. What
Oh,
about
yeah,
stretch- when you're stretching and stuff like
Oh
that?
yeah, like I'll like feel my back pop, but like I don't like that.
And
feeling.
are you a big stretcher? Do you stretch a
Yes,
lot?
absolutely.
Do you do any yoga or anything? Like that?
I have tried yoga, but I'm not like in love with it. Like I'll go once in a while with friends, but
like
I'd
a
rather
deep
just
stretch or something.
Yeah, I'd rather just stretch by myself at home.
More therapeutic.
Yeah, and I think that it's good to stretch even if you don't work out. It's just you keep your body youthful and moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's a form of like meditation because it's
Yeah.
like generally you can't really be multitasking that much while you're stretching.
Exactly.
Dang, that's cool. That's cool. Well, hey, Ashley, I want to say thank you for coming on.
Of
I really, really
course.
appreciate it. Why don't you let people know how they can support you, the different services and things you offer, everything else?
Okay, well, I am with Alphalete, which is a clothing brand. They are amazing, amazing quality. So my support code for that is Ash Madison.
There we go.
Supplement company is Primeval Labs. If you use my code Ash Madison, 25% off.
Mm-hmm.
And those are my two main sponsors. So besides that, just follow me, like my content, engage
And is it
with
just
me.
Ashley Madison on Instagram?
Yes, underscore Ash Madison.
Ash Madison.
Someone took Ashley Madison.
Yeah, I know, dude. I have Micah Daly, but it's like my old Instagram account that I got locked out of.
Oh my God, and you can't
So
get
I had
that,
it. So then for a while I was Micah.Daly, and then I just changed it to Central Valley Podcast. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just do this.
Yeah, and honestly, names don't matter. As long as people can find you,
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
what it is.
So
But
there's that. And then on YouTube as well.
YouTube, Ashley Madison, and TikTok, I think it's just Ash Madison XO.
All right. Type in Ashley Madison on Google, you guys.
No, don't type in Ashley
There's
Madison. That's the website where you cheat on your spouse.
What?
You haven't heard? Oh my goodness, yes. I actually
go
was
on.
literally like, how could they do this to me? They were founded in 2000. Ashley Madison is a website where you can go cheat on your spouse with other people who are married. I was born in 94. I was
Really?
named first. Yeah, so if you type in Ashley Madison, that's what's going to come up.
I mean, on YouTube when I type in Ashley Madison, you did come up like as a second thing.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
good because I know when
Hey, you're making your mark, okay?
Good, yes.
Pretty soon it'll be like Ashley Madison, the fitness influencer,
Yes.
not Ashley Madison that cheat on your
spouse
website.
website. Yeah, okay. But that's how you guys can support me.
Cool,
It means a lot.
awesome.
It really does.
Sweet. Well, hey, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. We're gonna do some fun promos right now.
Okay, perfect.
And I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Of course. We'll have to do it again. This is it. Real talk and whatnot.
Real talk. That's what